Hey guys, it's Kate, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am having some fun playing with this ShinHan designer's gouache that I got, and I was thinking about that watercolor Christmas card that I made with the tree with all of the little shapes and stuff. And I thought that for today I might try something a little bit different and similar to that tree. And I've got some leftover gouache in my little Mayhan palette that I got. But I wanted to do a couple of basic flower shapes and then do some more scribbles, and we'll go from there. And not scribbles, but more swirly lines. So I want to just make a couple of simple flower shapes that are pretty large. And I just sort of traced a rectangle outline. I don't have any tape on this paper or gesso, but this is mixed media paper. And I will start off with this. And I'm just going to make some basic flowers, kind of folk arty. Now for this one, I'm going to do kind of loops. Maybe I'll have another one coming this way, a couple coming out of there, and one coming there. And I'm going to have another stem coming down, and this is going to be behind the first flower. This is going to be my basic painting. Now I am going to just do some scribbly swirls. I'm going to make it so that each of these shapes has shapes inside of it. And I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to overcomplicate it. So we will start there and then see how it looks. So I'm going to grab my small quill brush. I've got a clean jar of water, and I've got some colors here that are already activated. Now what I want to do is kind of determine my colors before I start. I've got a lot of blues and greens here and a lot of reds and purples and yellows. I think I'll use my reds, purples, and yellows for my flowers, my green for my leaves and stems, and I might do some shades of blue for the background shapes. So what I'm going to do first is pick out one of these colors, and I'll just go with what I've got here mixed up. And I'm just going to reactivate this. And I might also add just a little bit more red and make it kind of a nice bright pinky purple color. And then I'm going to go through and color or paint each of my flowers, but what I'm going to do is stay within these shapes, just like this. And I'll grab some more color and go to a different part of the flower, maybe even right here next to it with this diagonal. The only thing that I'm going to make sure that I do is I don't want the same color next to each other on the paper. And also this circle right here, I think I might use lighter shades of pink so it can also be a little bit differentiated from the outside of the petals. So I think I'm going to leave that just like that. I might put in just this little last corner tiny shape right there. And then I'm going to add some of this color to this flower. And I've been having a lot of fun playing with this gouache. If you're watching my channel, I've been having some kind of folky painting sessions, and that's partially what gave me the idea to do this, as well as my Christmas tree Christmas tree card. This is going to be interesting to see how it turns out, and I am a little bit curious how many variations I can do and You know, even thinking of things like this inside of this circle here, or the oval, making that sort of different shades that are a little bit lighter could really help make those flowers pop out of the background. What I am going to make sure that I do is mix different shades of these colors, and I'm going to put in several shapes before I remix, just to make things a little bit easier. So I'm at a part now where I think I am ready to do some remixing. And actually what I might do is grab some of this red and maybe a little bit more red. Yeah, and that makes it a much deeper color. And I'm going to come right in here with that darker shade. So as you can see, I've done my flower heads and I'm still working on controlling my water. I am on some my sketchbook. So this is pretty light paper and I've got a couple of water droplets I've dropped off my brush, but overall this color is fantastic and opaque. Anything like that is my mistake as I get used to painting with these again. But you can see how I'm kind of staggering my colors here. And I started with my flowers, got my color groups for that, and now I'm doing my different greens for these leaves. So I started off with that viridian, and I've been adding yellow, and I may even add some white, but I'm just making sure that all my colors are next to a different color. So you can see that going through here. And so I'm getting ready to switch out colors again. So I'm just going to give my brush a rinse. I'm actually going to go a little bit into this ultramarine that I have sitting here and see how that looks. And I might even do just a little bit of red. That's more than I wanted to do, but maybe I can scoop up some more of this green in here. So this is going to make like a nice sort of olive green. The red will tone it down quite a bit. And so then I'm going to just add it to another one of these leaves next to a different color green. And I like this color. This is really pretty. But this is a great way to practice mixing your colors too, because you know, you have to get some different shades going on here. It's also great practice for brushwork. But for me, I am really using this as another opportunity to practice with this gouache because I'm not really used to painting with it. And so it's been kind of a fun experience to play around with gouache again. I'm trying to get used to it because like with watercolor, it's sort of like the more water the merrier, but here, if you want it to be opaque and matte, like gouache is, you really need to watch your water balance. You can use it like watercolor and transparent with lots of water, but you won't get the same effect. And you can see that here where I have those couple little water drops. I was working a little bit too wet with this, but it can always be corrected. You can always add a second coat, and I may do that, although I really love that color that I mixed, and I'm not sure I can mix that exact color again. But this is just really fun so far. All right, now we can start on the rest. I'm going to get some of this blue out here to start with. And it's a really nice blue. This is the turquoise, which is one of my favorite colors. So it goes without saying, it's wonderful. I'm just going to get it nice and creamy and spreadable, but not too thin. And I'm going to start laying down color on the background. Okay, I'm going to start to mix into my ultramarine, and we'll get us another shade of blue onto our paper. So I just added a little bit of water. I'm going to give it a little test on my paper, and that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to put it down as my next color. Okay, I'm ready for my next shade of blue, and I think I'm going to try adding a little bit of purple in with this, and also I'm just going to grab some of this ultramarine. Just see how that works. I'm also going to grab just a tiny bit of black. And we should get, I don't know, kind of almost like a navy blue, which it is, which I really like. I'm going to add just a little bit more black to really darken it up. And I think this looks pretty good. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of water just to get it a little bit more spreadable. And I think this is going to be a good color. Now it's going to dry a little bit lighter, I think, but we'll see. All right, I had to leave my desk for a little while, and this has dried, so I am just going to re-wet this dark blue and get a little water on here. I want to try to do like one more shape at least with it, because it's such a beautiful color. I think I want to do this one here. And hopefully I've got enough, because I'm kind of watering it down more than it really should be. But it's just so pretty. Now, since I'm kind of getting to the end of this painting, what I want to make sure to do is, if I've got any of these shapes like this one here where it is two empty shapes right next to each other, which pretty much I just have right here now, I just want to make sure to address those so that I don't have to blend a bunch of extra colors. So I've got that one there, and I'm just going to take care of this one here, which these are really similar in value, and if I do one there, it's not going to be very much contrast. So I'm going to need to not do that one and maybe do this one instead. Then I'm going to blot my brush really well and try to pull a little bit of this up. That way I can put a different color on here. The only thing I want to do now is grab a little bit more of this white. Just a little. I love this gouache, by the way. This is a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, like, I'm going to be cutting some footage out of this, so it's not like 100 hours long, but I have been really enjoying myself, losing all track of time. Almost like a little stitch around the edge. And I think we can call this done. This gouache project was a ton of fun. It took a while, but it's so fun to do, just to fill in those shapes, and I love how it looks. So let me just give you a close-up, and you can see how it turned out. And I love it. It's so pretty. And if you kind of plan your colors a little bit, you can get some really neat effects, I bet, and just make a really beautiful little painting. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep creating. Bye.